and it's really thinking this morning, and
Right.
we're live.
Hi, welcome to the StockinetteZombies. I'm Amy, also known as J Nitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And this is episode 404, which in the computer world means
Oh, yeah, file
page
not
not
found.
found. So when it took a really long time to load, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
doing good. It's been an interesting week. Working on the retreat a lot. Had a few sponsorships show up. Very excited for that. And yeah, just realized that I needed to put the two-color thing out there. Thank you for the person who prompted me. I think it was Kirsten. So, just it's up there now. You can enter your projects for the KAL.
Yeah.
And yeah, just a whirlwind of activity.
Yeah. So last week I was in New York City, which was awesome. I've never been to New York City, like sans family, I guess, period, right? My brother was there, and then a couple times I went with my husband. And so yeah, worked a ton, got to meet all of my coworkers, but then did some really interesting nightlife type stuff, right? Like a couple of our designers took us out to a really authentic Asian restaurant where it was almost like Fear Factor, right? Like there's just plates wandering around. You didn't know what anybody ordered. You ate it, and then they'd kind of laugh at you, and they'd be like, "That's jellyfish that you just ate." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." I think the more interesting one was it was almost like a wheat noodle consistency. And they were like, that is tripe intestines. And I was like, oh, interesting. You could tell a small child that this is noodles and they would think that it was noodles, right?
Right.
And then we went to the Juilliard Orchestral Jazz Band played at Lincoln Center, which is right near Central Park. Got to run in Central Park. So yeah, just really filled my time there. It was great. It was a lot of work. It was great to meet all of my coworkers, but also enjoy New York City as kind of like a, I don't know, unattached person who could decide at any moment what I wanted to do.
Cool. Well, it
Yeah.
sounds like you had a good adventure.
Yeah, it was a great adventure.
I know that we're both kind of on a time crunch.
Okay.
So if we wanted to go ahead and get started with our whips.
Okay. The only thing I wanted to call out, if anybody's watching this, that's a ZKN member, we are going to do a show and share with the craft along this weekend. When we get towards the end of the first two quarters, so the first half of the year, we'll probably have one. So not just ZKN members, anybody can join on the weekend. And I am on the precipice of announcing a new speaker that I think is going to be after Memorial Day, but before ZK. So really excited about that. But stay tuned for more details there, and hope to chat with you about your Craft Your Own Book Along CYOB. I just realized that it's kind of like BYOB, but CYOB this weekend. So yeah, let's go. Whips.
Yeah. Well, I was very excited. I have been messaging you speaker ideas here and there. So
yeah.
Excited to see who we're talking to.
Yes.
So I can start with I'm working on a sock. This is self-striping from 716 Knit. So you can see that these are the two stripes coming back in. I think it's just the two. Yeah.
I love those speckles.
Yes, it's very cool. And this is a deep stash. And then I have some new needles. I'm trying these unicorn tipped ones or whatever from Addy Turbo or Addies, but they're the unicorn ones with the little swirlies on the tips. So
are they extra grippy? Is that what the unicorn swirls are supposed to do?
I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit more blunt or a similarly blunt tip. So it's not like the rockets. The rockets have a little bit more tip on them. And yeah, and then it just has that small indentation. It does feel different on your hands. Haven't noticed too much of a difference with how I knit socks though. So maybe there's more of a difference when you're knitting bigger projects, but my size one's not too bad. Okay. I have been working away like a maniac on this lovely shawl, and I'm down to the border. The last So this is the If the Sun Comes, I think, shawl. But yeah, so this is the beaver yarn, Queen Beaver. And
Yeah, I was
I
like,
think it
oh,
was,
I recognize this sort of.
yeah, I think this is Evil Beaver. No, maybe not. Anyway, a normal brown beaver there. But yep.
Oh, those speckles are looking fabulous in that garter.
Yes, yes. And then this is kind of similar to the the pressed flowers
Okay, yep.
in how it's worked there. But
Mosaic, 2-color mosaic.
yeah, 2-color mosaic, and it's got the a V in here multiple times, but it's all bunched around this tiny, tiny needle. So I can't spread it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sure it's big and squishy and fabulous.
But yes, it's that swanky DK. So very fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a dream to work with. I've made a lot of headway on the summer shandy. So I'll just hold up the bigness that it is right now.
I love those colors so much.
Yeah. So these are both from Keenan Yarns, formerly known as Fangirl. And I don't remember the names, but this was her show colorway from last year, the pink and orangey one. And then the purple was one I had bought the year before. So very serendipitous.
Yes. Oh, and it's so fabulous.
And then let's see. I got a lot of whips, so I'm trying to work through them pretty fast.
I have been, so I don't just have one whip. It's great that we're both, I know, right?
So this is the Strange Brew that I've been working on for it's a craft along with Eat Sleep Knit. So this is like the Mountain Mist from the book that works on that same formula. And then I added these like Northern Lights type thing at the top.
Yeah.
So very cute. And I am really enjoying work. This is the Blue Sky Fibers. This is that Woolfolk. It's very airy, worsted weight yarn. So it almost reads like a Christmas sweater to me, but it's a wintry theme. I think it'll be a good sweater.
Yeah, I think anytime you kind of put red and green, or you even assert pink and green and something, right? Sometimes it takes on a little bit of a festive vibe, right?
Right. And this is more of a dark burgundy when you see it in person. And then this is so dark of a green that it almost looks like another color. So I think in person, it reads a little less Christmas than on our screen here.
Yeah. It's doing something with the green for sure. It's making it festive.
It's still, yeah. But it's still, I don't know. I still enjoy the pattern. I am down to the just a boring knitting
Yep.
part of the. I don't know. It's fine. I have until the end of June to finish it. For the knit alongs, so it's kind of sitting on the back burner now that the fun parts are done.
I represent that comment. Yeah.
And I was like, well, if I have until after the retreat and it's not bonus yarn or pattern, so I'm just kind of like, I'll just leave it. But it could be good retreat knitting because it's just knitting in the round. So maybe I'll finish it. This is a very fun party petal top.
Yes.
So this is
Petal party. Petal party?
Petal party, yeah. Crop. So this is just the top part. I should be ready to move on to the back, or this is the back and I work at the front. I don't know. And then I think after that, they're worked in the round. So work the top and then you can work down and around. So
I wore my petal party that I added sleeves on the other day and I was like, I need another one of those.
Yeah, no, and I made the first one so big, like so oversized, and I like it, but this one's going to be less oversized. So, or
Yeah,
that's the hope anyway.
pretty.
That is some soon to come Queen City Arts. So
Yeah.
we're excited about that.
I held my tongue. I was going to ask, and then I was like, well, I'll figure out whether or not Amy feels like she wants to share.
But working on that, and I'm enjoying the process, seeing those speckles turn into that fabric. It looks a bit stripy from the camera, but I don't know that it looks
Yeah,
that way.
I think the cameras really accentuates the high-low, right?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that was my whirlwind.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna try to make it brief as well. The two color, the just the two of us has reignited my Musselboro obsession. So this is is one that I started in New York City.
Ooh.
Yeah, look at those colors. So this is Socks That Rock. I believe
Mhm.
it was a colorway that the blogless Carlas and of when they went to Rhinebeck and we took like a photo of everybody wearing matching socks. I bought
Oh,
like a huge amount of it.
okay.
So just had like this, yeah, super variegated extra skein sitting around, combining it with the sweater quantity of this light blue of Sun Valley that I had. I'd broken up the sweater quantity because I had been working on the color work. You saw it in the color work. And so, yeah, I'm just grabbing skeins. I'm like willy-nilly, crazy grabbing skeins and making Musselburros out of them. In whips, you'll see I'm like on the very last vestiges of the leftover of this. In whips are in finished objects. You'll see a pile. I've been going crazy. I think you saw this when we met in person. I was just doing some
Beautiful.
yeah, doing some playing around with a construction of a shawl. The tucked in shawl is very similar to this, but at a lighter weight. It's a DK weight. And then there's something, there's like a motif down here and garter there. And I did this all in brioche. This is with that Wonder Fluff from Knit Picks that I had left over after I made my turtle dove. And because I just went crazy throwing it into the cart again, just kind of doing things with things. I'm obviously to the point where I've bound off for the collar. So the construction is that it gets bound off there and then just a little tab of, I don't know if I'm doing the best job here, but like a little tab here where you work a little further and this is what gets grafted together. So yeah, I think I was telling you, I think I want the collar to be a little more mighty, like it's a little thin still. I mean, it'll block out a little wider, but thinking that and I do have more, if I did another one, I would make the collar a little wider. But yeah, I've really been enjoying this kind of construction, especially like, I'm wearing a t-shirt because it's a little, it's warm out, but I'm just a little chilly, or like I want to be a little more formal. I'll throw like, something that covers this part of my body on. And I'm super profesh, Megan. It's like Clark Kent and Superman. I'm
Can't see
now
my
super
blue
professional.
t-shirt or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You can't see there's like a coffee stain here, or yeah, a cat with flowers on it. Yeah. I did get, and I just am now realizing that I didn't post it. I did get the main body of my Let It Fall completed, which was holding those two yarns together. And then you challenged me to post it because I was like, oh, it's so not this color. I now realizing I did not do that, so I need to. But yeah, it's so this lace motif stretches a ton. Like if you look at it, it looks really, but like when I put it on, I can almost make it into a dress. It's so stretchy. And then there's a little bit of an optical illusion because it is kind of that the drop shoulder. Yeah, it's wide. So it looks really short. Like I pick it up and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's not long enough for me. But much like you with your, like I set it down because it's not the fun part anymore. This lace motif was extremely fun. And now the sleeves are reverse stockinette that you can knit in the round, inside out. But it's just stockinette and it's just sleeves. And so I didn't want to take this big bulk with me to New York City. So I set it aside, like cast on another sweater, which I've now gotten to the point where I'm again, like, I want to set it aside and work on other things. So this is the Reborn by Rachel Isley. Yeah.
Beautiful. That
This is
combo is gorgeous.
yeah, it's Woolens and Nosh, her fig colorway, which I believe she pulled out of her self-striping, which is like genius, right? Great job, Michelle. For the cornucopia, I believe. And so it was sitting there and I was like, I wanted to do Michelle's KAL. I didn't know what I wanted to have as the contrast. And this was like, I stirred my stash and this was in my stash, right? And I'm like, oh, that's a nice combo for contrast. And so, yeah, a really purple and pinkalicious, this flew, right? I was sad when it was over. And then to keep myself busy, her Targhee skeins are like monster skeins. They're like 115 grams, right? So really great put up.
Yeah, I had some sitting aside that I was hoping to cast on for the 2-color KEL as well, but then I don't know. I have way too many projects, as you can tell.
Yeah. So I started in the second one and did helical stripes, which kept me like mildly entertained. It was something to do, right? Like, okay, I'm 4 stitches before, I slip the 4, I move on to the next, the next strand. And so I was chasing myself around the body of this, and then I ran out of the original skein, which I don't know that I needed to alternate skeins.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's really great continuity between the skeins, but it gave me something to do, and I know I'm not ripping it out. That's the other thing. If you're going to possibly rip something out, alternating skeins makes it so impossible to rip out. It's not just like it's like a one skein around, the other skein around, the next, the original skein around. So yeah, I just need to get to the point where I'm putting some ribbing on. There is a bit of color work on the end of this sleeve. So that will be a good carrot to dangle for myself. But yeah, it's my gauge, my row gauge, I went, so up on all of her patterns, it calls for like 2s and 3s, and I go up to 3s and 4s, but I think my row gauge is still a little short relative to hers, because her star goes like down onto the arm. It's much longer in yoke than mine is ending up. I don't know, again, if that's the squishiness of the Targhee really up, but it's I don't know, I still love it so much.
Yes. Yeah, no, what I wanted to do for that yarn is the birch, which is just ribbing, but the pattern is disheartening because it says you're doing it on 2s.
Yeah.
So do I want to knit a sweater on 2s right now? Not really.
So I need to like focus grasshopper and actually like not just go on to the next thing. Peekaboo. You hadn't moved enough.
I haven't.
Yeah, just move on to the next thing and not finish what I've got going on here, because it feels kind of like all of these things at halfway points. I know that that's normal for some people. It's not normal for me. So
right. Well, I'm feeling a little bit of that because that shawl was boring, but had the squishy, wonderful yarn, right? Mm-hmm. And then it had some interest, and I cruised through that, and now it's like 14 rows of plain to the end, and then it's a sewn bind off. So I'm not looking forward to it. So I'm focusing on that one just so that I can move on.
Power through it.
power through it. Power
Yeah.
through it so I can move on. But it'll be my 2-color project. This one was started before the challenge, so I don't know how many 2-color projects I have. So I got to start another one.
Yeah, yeah. Well, again, I've got the bulky. I've done like the older stash for our craft your own book venture. I haven't gotten the one for child's children's literature. And then I feel like there's another one in there too that I haven't done yet, but I gotta figure out how I'm going to meet those challenges as well. It's fun. I don't know. Keeps things interesting. I mean, even if you aren't like googly-eyed over the color work on your sweater, right? It's something to inspire.
Yes. Yeah. I think KLs are a great way to keep yourself motivated through something. It gives you a end goal as well as, so that I don't just let it sit too long. And there's yarns here that I'm picking up and using because we had this older stash challenge, right?
Yeah.
I think that's also just happy. It's like, oh, I forgot about this lovely yarn that I haven't worked with in ages, or, oh, this dyer, I haven't seen them out of my stash in so long, but I really enjoy it. So yeah, I am happily working through my
it feels like it's going to enable me to like not guilt-free, but like go into the ZK marketplace and be like, I did use some of my old ZK yarns and some of my old stash, right? Like I am capable of not just the new ooh shiny.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah.
get this. Karen is doing something right now with herself where she's doing like 3 or 4 out and 1 in. And she has maintained it this so far. So
yay.
Like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, I it's too late for me, but I
start tomorrow and then hit buy on all the cards.
Well, I could probably calculate like how much out and how much in has happened this year, but nope, not willing to catch up on May.
Yeah.
too much paperwork. So maybe I'll start after ZK. That'll be my halfway point.
Yeah.
I'll be like, all
after,
right.
Isn't when all of that when like all of the diets start is after the holidays?
Yes.
It's our own personal holiday.
Yes.
Yarn holiday. Yeah. All right. Thank you all for joining us.
Bye.
Bye, Ufta.